Logan. I work for the parlor. This is my model Alicia. I'm going to be showing you an updo today. But before we get started, I wanted to talk about Alicia's regimen. I have her on the Nutritive line, the Bain Satan, the La Fatale for cleansing and treating, and then we follow with the primer of Nectar Thermique for moisture and hydration, as well as thermal care protection. Iron Curl set her hair using Forme Fatale and the Mousse Bouffante mixed together on her hair to build a little bit of memory and control as we iron curled it. And then in 1-inch sections, working through the hair, iron curled it, rolled the curl down, and pinned it. Divide the hair in a radial section, ear to ear, parting, continuing all the way around the head. And then I'm just going to section off a small section in through the top, kind of a semi-circle. First I'm going to apply powder fluff dry shampoo, just to build a little bit of texture. Dry shampoos are great for getting a little bit of a grip into the hair. Sliding a bobby pin across just below the earlobe, nestled right around the occipital bone. And when I bobby pin anchor, I cross my pins together, creating a very secure, tight hold. You don't want that to move. Whenever you're building a updo, you want the structure to be very, very strong and tight, and that way it gives you the ability to have fluctuation and movement after it's secured. I always say you build a foundation and then you build your design work over the top. Other side, I'm just going to work my way across. I always suggest that you work from the outside in, because the hair is going to have a natural tendency to push forward and come out of these pins, especially along the hairline. Now, starting in the center back, I'm going to take a 1-inch section. I'm going to twist this style, holding just a small amount of hair at the bottom, and I'm going to ruche this up. You want like 3 or 4 strands, and you just coil it up. I'm holding it at a 90-degree angle, working across this pin, across my bobby pin anchoring, and that 90-degree angle is what's going to give us that coverage over the pins. Now I'm letting that little bit of curl kind of spring forward just to let it breathe and have some open air feeling to it. Another 1-inch section just to the left of my previous. Just a few strands of hair, hold tight, ruche in, and work my way across. Now when pinning, you always want to pin perpendicular to the hair that's underneath. Another 1-inch section, working straight across, 90-degree angle, small amount of hair, and ruche in. This is just such a great way to let curl be free, be open, have movement. Nothing too structured or contrived. Now, to follow her head shape, because she tapers in through the neck, we're going to build this a little bit more narrow. I love layering these products. Already having that base of the Forme Fatale and the mousse in there, it just gives us memory, it gives us hold, and a really nice foundation, so the hair is really workable. It has structure and hold in there. Just going to mist over the top, some lock dentelle. I'm going to drop my top section down. Again, I'm just going to twist this. I'm going to take a small section and ruche in. Shape incorporating the top. I'm going to shift everything over to the right just a little bit, because I want to open up a little bit of asymmetry into the style. And then in ruching, you don't always have to ruche all the way up to the scalp or to the top of where the hair is. In this particular case, I'm just incorporating the shape, but I'm allowing these little bits to kind of open up and be coiled and airy, so it just adds a whole different design element, keeping the style very soft and flowing. This one has to rotate back and away from the face, so when turning, I'm going to turn towards the back of the head, grabbing a small amount of hair, sliding up, and coil that. And again, you know, hairdressing is all about artistry. It allows us to just have freedom. Starting off, to build in the asymmetry, I like to take the lean side and just move this back. Now, one little tip that I always work with is that if I use diagonal forward or diagonal back partings, it allows no division where you're going to see any sort of parting in the hair. So I'm going to slide a diagonal in this front, coming over the ear. Put this section out of the way. Just a touch of spray. Always spray in the direction the hair needs to go. It helps lay down any kind of flyaway. I'm going to move this back and I'm going to pin it horizontally so it's very tight and lean. That prevents any kind of sagginess or buffering over the ear. One more section at a diagonal. Touch of spray, spraying away from the face. Sections, I'm going to incorporate them first, finding them a little home, incorporating our ruching from before. Twist all the way down, grab a few strands of hair, work our way up. At the top, I'm going to create just a bit of cushioning. Before I do that, I'm going to take a little powder bluff, dry shampoo, spray on the underside of the hair, just to allow a little bit of base. Hold the hair between my fingers, and I'm going to tease the hair, just creating a little bit of cushioning, a little bit of softness and volume in there. On this side, I always like to leave those top sections out of the way so that I can utilize my finishing and balance at the very end. Diagonal here. Now this time, I'm not going to move back so far. This is where I'm going to build in the asymmetry. So I'm going to pin just to the top of the ear. Take one more section. And slightly above that, put a little lock from toe. Lock from toe is a great hairspray. It's very workable, it's flexible, it has memory to it. Another thing that is so great is that it has UV filters, so it's going to protect any sort of hair color from fading. So it's wonderful for clients to use on a day-to-day basis, especially if they're prone to color fading. Now when I ruched this one in, I went right over the top of my existing pins, so it's very easy to camouflage and conceal those pins. A little bit of powder bluff again, dry shampoo. Now, I know it sounds funny, why would you use a dry shampoo? What it does is it just gives the hair a little bit of texture, a little bit of control, without leaving any sort of product feel. So the hair is still really moldable, workable. Whenever you're going to set hair, you always want to think about the direction that you're setting it and how it's going to fall so that it'll work with you instead of against you. This is where, every client is going to be different. Every person, the way that their hair is moving is going to be different. And I always call it the psychology of being a hairdresser. It's all about how the front plays in, because it's where a client's going to see it, she's going to wear it, she's going to feel it. It's going to determine how she feels about her shape and her style. Now we have just that little bit of tail in here. I want this to lay very soft, so I'm not going to pin and secure it down first. I'm just going to allow that wave to flow through and then finish off with just a little bit of rouge. La Couture, this is the Firm Hold Hairspray. Just going to set our style, get it into place. I like to slide the cam down over the surface just if there happens to be any bit of movement, flyaway. It's just going to set it in to place with a little bit more hold. This is a really great hairspray to finish off your style because it's going to have that nice strong hold. And I just want to say thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.